Mahmoud Khalil. Khali. I'm not good with these consonants with very few vowels names. Mahmoud, not Muhammad. Mahmoud Khalil. Got it. I think I got it. It's not the Yiddish, Mahmoud Khalil, the Columbia University agitator detained by ICE for deportation. The Associated Press is trying to create a victim out of this punk. The American Criminal Liberties Union is trying to suggest to us that this is a First Amendment issue. I'm well aware of First Amendment issues. This is not that. Some idiot said, I'm a libertarian, so, I'm not really good with this. Oh, okay. You're a libertarian. You're not really good with this. But it's too bad you don't understand the First Amendment. Not even a little bit. Over at the New York Post, they apparently do. Chris Nessie writes, the Columbia University grad taken into custody by federal immigration officials Saturday is a Palestinian former student, so there you go, he's trespassing, and known campus agitator. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents aided a Columbia-owned apartment inhabited by Mahmoud Khalil, who fronts a radical group, Columbia United Apartheid Divest, CUAD, which sympathizes with terror groups like Hamas and Hezbollah and calls for the end of Western civilization. In other words, this is a terrorist front group. It's a propaganda operation. If I had to guess, it's funded by, at least in part, Qatar, Iran, all that. According to Lincoln, Khalil briefly served as a political affairs officer with UNRWA, the UN agency that supports Palestinian refugees, actually, to more accurately put it, New York Post, that supports the Hamas terrorists, which was stripped of tens of millions in federal funding after an explosive report that some of its members took part in the October 7 Hamas attack against Israel, in which 1,200 people were killed. Khalil and his group, CUAD, been at the forefront of chaotic and at times violent campus protests at Columbia University and Barnard College. See, that's not First Amendment for the geniuses out there, dating back to at least last spring, which have resulted in injuries, damage to buildings, and have struck fear into the hearts of Jewish students and faculty. What else do we know about this lowlife? After receiving his undergraduate degree in Beirut, Khalil, born in Syria in 1995, enrolled at Columbia, where he earned his graduate degree at the School of International Public Affairs in December, was a driving force behind many of the anti-Israel protests, building takeovers, and encampments that have plagued the school for more than a year. I'm a libertarian, not First Amendment. No, it's not, morons. According to his lawyer, Amy Greer, Khalil is a permanent U.S. resident with a green card. Uh-oh, green card, that's trouble for him. He served as CUAD, that's the group, lead negotiator with the school's administration on numerous occasions, including during last spring's Gaza Solidarity encampment, during which scores of tents were erected on the Ivy League school's campus lawn. You at least have him for trespassing, but for this guy, you got him for more. He was suspended from Columbia last April for taking part in the demonstrations, but it was reversed the next day due to lack of evidence. Khalil told a BBC reporter at the time. Apparently they have a lot of evidence on him now. He's been a regular fixture on news programs discussing the group's disruptive efforts, including an interview on CUAD's news network. CUAD's. Anybody know what CUAD's are? Google it. Which was done completely in Arabic. He's been pictured on campus protests dating back to last April, speaking in bullhorns, taking part in dance circles, marching draped in a keffiyeh headscarf, and according to reports, he is married, and his 8 months pregnant wife was in the couple's apartment at the time ICE took him into custody. Oh, I'm sorry, but she's free to go with you, of course. So he's a thug. He's the enemy. They have the bleeding hearts, of course. But he's a thug and an enemy. There's simply no question about it. Time for him to go. And there'll be more. More of them are going to go. And, of course, this thug, this punk, he didn't protest what's going on in Syria, did he? Where minorities are being butchered. Over 1,000 people killed. Families, innocent citizens, including Christians, by the way. You don't see any activity on these campuses, do you? Protesting what Islamic terrorists are doing? No, you don't. Why is that? We know why that is. Because they're supporting Hamas and other terrorist operations. That's what these protests are all about. It's not for free speech or equal rights or some kind of benefit or what took place God knows how many years. No. This is a forward movement funded by the enemy, populated by the enemy, promoted by the enemy to take down our country. To take down our country. And I want to know why we're dealing with Qatar. And I think it's about time that the American media and others ask this question. Who does Qatar own? Who has Qatar given money to? What institutions has it bought? You want to hear really a bad one? I mean, it's public record. They gave millions of dollars, Mr. Producer. This is going to make you sick. To the Medal of Honor organization that's building a facility for a monument for Medal of Honor recipients. You believe that? I wonder how many Medal of Honor recipients who fought in the Middle East think that's a good idea. They're not the only one. They have ownership stakes in American professional basketball, American professional ice hockey. This is how they try and mainstream their terrorism. In other words, they try and show one face to America and Europe and another face to the enemy. They gave $1.8 billion to Hamas. That funding stream only stopped a few months ago. They gave a safe haven to 5 of Hamas's leaders, the billionaires who led Hamas, until a few months ago. They're involved in negotiations on the release of the hostages while trashing Israel. They're aligned with Iran. They're aligned with the terrorists who took over Syria from the terrorists who ran Syria, who are now slaughtering non-Muslims, minorities, Christians, with very little objection from anybody.